Welcome to 4x3, a review show where I tell you 4 things I liked and 3 things I didn't like about a game I played recently. As always, I won't tell you everything about the game. I'm just going to cover some likes and dislikes and maybe toss in a review score at the end. This week we're talking about Singularity, which is a game I somehow missed growing up. It came out in the summer of 2010, which was an immensely stacked year for games. You don't understand how many games came out that year. I did a quick little dive into it. So many. We had banger after banger coming out month after month. Games like Mass Effect 2, Black Ops, Heavy Rain, Red Dead Redemption, Halo Reach, and just so many others were jam packed in the same year. And it's no wonder looking at that why I missed Singularity, why it just slipped out of my mind. But man, after playing it, I am so mad at myself for skipping this one. It was such a blast. But let's start off with some of the stuff I didn't quite like in this game or outright hated, however you want to phrase it. One of the biggest things for me was there were so many audio imbalances where it would just kind of fling all over the audio spectrum. It would go from really quiet to where I could not hear what was being said to just bombastically loud for no reason. There were very little options to change anything in the menus to try to fix that. I mean, it was a 2010s game. They didn't really have the options back then, and there weren't even subtitles in this game. It was kind of annoying, but you take what you can get back then. One of the other things that really bothered me were there were too many notes and recordings. They did a really cool mechanic where some of the recordings you could bring back, like you use the TMD device, which is the time manipulation device the main character has access to. You could like rewind and rebuild the thing that would play the message, but like at the end of the day, you're standing there listening to somebody talk on a recording, or you're reading a note, and it completely stops gameplay. It relied way too heavily on that to the point where I kind of just started to skip them. I wouldn't even pick them up. Some of the menus, going on to my next point, some of the menus were a bit too glitchy aesthetically, and it made it really, really hard to read sometimes when it would just like flicker and flash out. As annoying more than anything. But outside of that, there's so much to like about this game. The first thing I really enjoyed was the enemy variety. There is a solid amount between mutants at the beginning of the game, the soldiers, these mutants that can just teleport around the arena that you use the TMD device later to just kind of slow them in place or counter them. The combat felt really engaging and led to some really fun unscripted moments because of that. Like one of the blue phase enemies that I don't know the name of, he threw a barrel at me and it gave me this inadvertent opportunity to shoot it out of the air and kill 2 other enemies that were way closer to me. And it just felt really cool to see that. Another thing I really love is the story and overall atmosphere of this game. It is so intriguing. It brings these horror vibes, but at the same time, it has the same awe that captured in the Titanfall 2 time travel level, where everybody knows the one where you go back and forth between different realities. But that over a whole campaign, which was so cool. I love that the main bad guy is legitimately enraged when he sees the main protagonist for the first time when we're playing, and he just demands, like, how the hell are you 50 years younger? What did you do? It's a nice way to keep the players who are remotely paying attention just hooked and wanting to play more. I also really love that the ending of the game and the sort of misdirection, because of all that, it leaves the player wondering if they really did the right thing. And I haven't had a game do that to me in a while, especially a shooter, like a first person, almost Call of Duty like shooter. The main device in this game, the TMD, or as I mentioned earlier, the time manipulation device, is so cool and versatile. I love turning enemies to dust or moving and reconstructing items, but it's used like so much more than that in the game. My mind was so blown when I had to break down a metal box and then put it under a metal like roll door you would see in like Resident Evil's parking garage, and you use the TMD to rebuild it and it lifts up the door. That was so fucking sick. Why don't we do more of that in games? It was so cool. The next thing I loved is that they included a navigation assistant, but you don't really need it. When you hit down on the D-pad, Renko, the main character, his device will send out like a pulse, and it shows him footsteps to kind of guide him away if you need a little assistance. It's a very linear game, so that doesn't come up very often, but if you're like me and you screw around in a game, sometimes you're going to get lost. To close this out, it was really great to see what Raven. I was surprised Raven worked on this game. And you don't know who they are attached, like, to Call of Duty, and not like a parasitic way. It's like almost, I hate to say, a hostage situation. It feels like sometimes, because all I know Raven of before this game is Call of Duty. Because since like Black Ops, they've been working on Call of Duty alongside Treyarch and some of the other studios. And it's really nice to see what Raven can do when they aren't feeling like they're locked inside Microsoft's basement being forced to work on Call of Duty. I wish this team had more freedom to work on other games, because they put this out and it's fantastic. And if you have access to a Xbox 360 or a PS3, you should absolutely go play this. I like this game a lot. I would give it 8.5 Catherines. I think that's the name of the character. 8.5 Catherines out of 10. Like, it's so underappreciated, and I wish more people had told me about this game. I wish I had heard about it more. Let me know down below if you heard about it. Like, did you play this game? Were you like me and you were like, there's so many other games coming out this year that like this game slipped away from you? Let me know down in the comments about that. And while you're at it, please drop a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I will see you all in the next video. Be good people.